What's up, everyone, and welcome to Season 7 of Inside Lines Podcast. I'm your host, Atoya Burleson, and the regular NFL season has begun. Did you guys see all the games this Sunday? It was crazy. It was all over the place. I have so much to talk about. I don't know if y'all saw, but the Eagles held off the Cowboys, so that was good. But the crazy part about it is Micah Parsons was traded to the Packers, and the Packers ended up winning their season opener, so that was cool to watch. Baltimore blew a surprising 15-point lead in the final 4 minutes, and Buffalo ended up winning at the end of that game, which was nuts. The 49ers salvaged a win despite key injuries to George Kittle, Trent Williams, to name a few, and the Rams struggled, but they pulled off a win against the Texans. Cincinnati snuck by Cleveland, which was what it was, and Pittsburgh beat the Jets, as well as Washington pummeled the Giants. So it was kind of all over the place in the NFL on Sunday. It is what it is. We have Monday Night Football, obviously, that just passed. But I want to talk about something that just passed that's even more important, and that's the U.S. Open. I don't know if y'all saw the U.S. Open, but Alcaraz killed it. And my girl Taylor Townsend in doubles killed it. So I had some huge W's there, but you know where I did not have a W? Fantasy football. My team was trash. I lost by 30 points, and I am so upset because I'm the reigning champ. I can't start out the season like that. It just looked bad. I was so upset at myself, so I need to go back and just wheel it all in and start over again. So I will be doing that along with some other NFL teams. We're all in it together, y'all. Okay, moving on to Make It Make Sense. Okay, we talked about this with a couple friends. Make it make sense. Who came up with the idea for men to wear ties and for women to wear heels? Honestly, I just feel like both are ridiculous and serve zero purpose. No one looks at a tie and is like, oh my gosh, wow, that tie on him is so amazing. He looks so professional. And I get heels for like short women, but it's not really for everybody. So why are we wearing heels? It's pointless. Your feet hurt. It's dumb. Tell me who came up with these ideas, and y'all tell me which one is worse, a pair of heels or wearing a tie. I have mine, but I'm going to just leave that alone and we'll talk about it later. Okay, moving on to It's Debatable. Now, for this It's Debatable segment, we all know that couples, friends, and family can get into some serious debates. We all have our opinions that we swear is right. This one, I want you to chime in on. Top 5 fast food places. I did a little survey, and here's how it panned out. And y'all tell me if these are in the right order. At number 5, surprisingly, Taco Bell was number 5. Number 4 was In-N-Out Burger. Number 3 was Chick-fil-A. Number 2, McDonald's came in at number 2. Last time I did this, McDonald's came in at number 1 because of their fries, but I guess they changed their fries again, so McDonald's has dropped to number 2. Number 1, which I don't even really know is a fast food place or not, Starbucks. And it was so interesting. I finally texted people like, why did you put Starbucks as number 1? They're like, because it's the easiest thing to grab. Like sometimes people don't want food. They just want coffee to have that pick me up and keep going. Or I can grab food there too. So they're right. So Starbucks has now topped the charts at number 1. Can y'all believe that? Taco Bell 5, In-N-Out 4, Chick-fil-A 3, McDonald's 2, Starbucks 1. Chime in and let me know your thoughts. This is one that's up for debate, so I want to hear what y'all think. Let me know if this is the correct order. Okay, now, moving on. Let's get into our new episode. Y'all enjoy. On the podcast today, we have the founder and director of Athlete Relations. Please welcome to the show, Ally Nielsen. Hello.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming on. There's so much to talk about because we understand that this time is so critical for athletes as far as them relocating and trying to figure it out, as well as their significant others and families. Let's just start by talking about what you do. Mm-hmm. And then I'd also love you to get into what inspired it.
Oh, for sure. Okay, so first half of the question. So what I do, so I started athlete relations 7 years ago. It was very clear to me after being in the industry for actually only a short time at that point, only a few years, but it was very clear that there was this gap, right, in what was being handled between obviously contract negotiation with agencies, and then obviously you've got marketing, PR, financial side of all of that. And then you've got this gap kind of in the middle, right? And it was kind of obvious to me that some of the players that I knew at the time were going to the wrong people, right? To like get those things done. And while, yeah, they probably were still getting done. One, were they getting done the right way? Two, were they taking away from the things that person should have been doing primarily? And three, like if it's not their primary job, right? Are they actually getting the perks and all the things that should be going along with those things? So all that to be said, I kind of saw this gap and I was like, you know what? I'm going to try this and like see if I can figure it out. I'm like hyper organized, so type A and everything. So I was like, this is like exactly my calling. And it was what I was doing at different agencies before this anyway. But I just saw that so many of them weren't offering it, or they were only offering it like you and I talked about to that like 1%, right? Like the very top person that's making them the top dollar at the agency or whatever. And the reality is everybody needs it. And it's a service that needs to be offered to every single player that you're representing. So all that to be said, I started athlete relations and it's been great since. Honestly, we've been able to help so many families and it's really all inclusive from anything from day-to-day management, calendar management, reservations, concierge services to large-scale event planning. I'm on the board of a few foundations now with our guys. We do foundation management, event planning for their foundations.
Oh, wow.
Honeymoons, engagements, baby showers, gender reveals, like you name it, we're part of it. So it's been really cool. But to your first point that, you know, that sweet spot in the middle of the season where everyone's moving and I need cars transported and all of that. Not only are we able to handle it, but we have partnerships with these companies, right? So one, we can get discounts, but two, we have personal relationships with them. So it's not just calling, you know, a 1-800 number and asking somebody to help with it. We have these direct one-on-one contacts so that they're able to be done the right way and serviced the right way. So that's really where our like sweet spot is for sure.
That's awesome. Now, there's one thing I remember we talked about before is you wanted to make sure it was important for you to match clients with services that align with who you are, your company, your values. How do you approach that vetting process?
So I think we had mentioned on our last call too, we do a lot of research beforehand, right? And I will say that's the typical situation, but there always is that one, you know, random time that you meet someone at some event and you just immediately click and you just know that it's going to work. So I shouldn't say that's all the time, but a lot of times, right? You have to do your research. Sometimes it'll come from someone posting something on their Instagram story, right? I'm looking for X, Y, and Z. And either I see it or someone sees it and sends it to me and be like, hey, this could be like a good way in to talk to them or whatever. So that's kind of the step one, right? Is seeing that they have some sort of gap. They are in need of something. And then after that, it's really diving into what we can see from a social media, right, standpoint or Googling or anything like that, or asking around with, you know, a lot of the connections that we have that work with these players and their families. So like, where is that gap right now for them? Are they struggling with the day-to-day? Are they struggling with, hey, we just moved to a new city and we don't really know anybody. And, you know, there's all these apps that I can use that are amazing, but like, I just need someone like personally to talk to, and I need a little bit more than that. And then on top of that, really, where are their values, right? Like, hey, do we have a foundation, or do we want to start a foundation, or do we not want a foundation at all, but we do like really enjoy giving back and we'd like to look into more ways to do that. So it's really just kind of like checking all the boxes of where this person or this family or whatever it is has a gap that you can visibly see, right? And that's step one, is having that conversation with them, being like, we just saw that you were looking for X, Y, and Z. That's kind of our specialty, is to help you find X, Y, and Z, and then open the door that way. So that's kind of the very, very, very beginning process.
That's awesome. Okay, so once you find your clients that, okay, they match with you, what would you say is the biggest challenges that you have in basically trying to set everything up between yourself and the clients? And even, I don't know if you do anything within the team as well. Like, how does that work for you?
So truly, I think that there's a way that it could be really messy, right? You could be like, wait, who's handling this? The team? Is it me? Is it this person? Is it your mom? Is it your wife? Is it this whoever? So my goal with all of it is to keep it streamlined, right? We work in conjunction with all of those people rather than kind of dividing and conquering in a way. It's got to be this big interweb of networking, right? So whether it's, hey, like this person, based in Chicago, so this person's on the Bears, right? It could be us calling the Bears and being like, hey, so-and-so is doing X, Y, and Z. Just wanted to let you know that we're taking it over because they mentioned that they talked to you about it. So just being on the same page, right? And that's like very
being transparent.
Exactly.
Yes.
So one, this has happened before, and this was very early on in athlete relations, but we had a client that was looking for courtside seats to I think it was a Suns game at the time. Not only did he call us and ask, he called the team to ask, he called his team to ask, and then he called his agent. And I was like, not only now did I have courtside seats, that now where they were like, wait, we already got a call about this. Now the team's annoyed. Now they're like, we just gave up 4 courtside seats and it was only supposed to be 2. Now everyone's mad. Now you look bad. Now I look bad. So it's really just making sure that, like, again, that process is streamlined, the communication is streamlined. And then not only that, but like, there are some things that, like, one, the team doesn't handle, or our players don't want the team to handle, right? They want to have their personal life, and that's totally fine. So making sure that we have that distinction, right? Of like, what things do you have the team handle versus what things do you not want them to be involved in? And then 2, that kind of goes for everybody else too, right? Like, perfect example is like, we have a group chat with like the wives and stuff. Well, if we're surprising them, can't be in the group chats, we got to take them out. We got to go to a different route. So it's all a matter of that communication, right? And like seeing what makes sense, streamlining it, bringing it back to our team, making sure it's done the right way, and that all the boxes are checked and that everybody's kind of on the same page.
That makes sense. You know, I was thinking about, you know, when Nate played in the 11 years we were in the NFL. And then I think about like our financial advisor. I think about all the different things that happen along the way with the athletes, whether it's like money related, and then someone wants to borrow money from this. And then there's all of these intricacies that happen. And sometimes, you know, I think with our financial advisor, he's very good about like stepping in and being like, hey, this is what we're doing. These are the boundaries or the goals that you created in the beginning. This is what you need to do. How do you handle those situations?
So that's tough, right? Because there's some that are just like, you don't have a say. It's not you. It's not your money. It's not your family. It's not your people, right? But at the same time, you do have an obligation to say, hey, that might be a little bit of a red flag. And maybe it's like, to them, they kind of already had an inkling that like, maybe I shouldn't be doing something like this.
Yes.
But at the same time, they don't always have that voice of reason, let's say. Especially if it's a family member. That's the tricky part, right? Is that a lot of times the situation you're referring to, it's a family member that's doing it.
Yes.
So that's the hard part. I will say, and like maybe toot my own horn for a minute, but like I have a really good relationship with each of our players, right? They know that I have their best interests at heart. There's never going to be a situation where, you know, something comes up that I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to handle this behind the scenes. They don't need to know about it, blah, blah, blah. There are times that things come up that I don't have the second they're on a flight, right? The car service needs to be changed or whatever needs to be changed, right? And that's easy, right? Those are little things that I have to just make a quick decision on, and we need to be okay with it, and you need to trust me. But if I bring something up like that and say, hey, I saw that this is kind of what was going on. I just want to like kind of give you a heads up that like might not be the best choice. I don't know your family dynamic. I don't know what it felt like to grow up in your shoes with your specific parents and siblings and et cetera. And I want you to be able to make ththose decisions. However, I want you to understand that you are allowed to say no to things too. It's not an obligation that you have to fulfill just because of who you are or who they are. I want you to make an educated decision. So make sure you're talking to everybody on your team before you make any decisions like that.
That is actually, I love that. I love the way you approach that. That's beautiful.
I'm not their mom. I don't have to say no, right? I'm like, you can't do it. Like, that's not what I'm here for. But I'm also here to make 100%. Sure that the decision that you are making is because you were educated on it and you didn't just make a split decision because you felt guilty or you felt like you had to out of obligation.
And that's something that a lot of players feel. They feel that guilt, or they feel like, you know, people have less than them. So that makes them feel guilty, like they have to do something for someone else. So I understand both sides, and I see that. Totally. And it's a hard position to be in. It really is. And I recognize that with my husband even now. Yeah. And he's been out of the NFL for, you know, at least a decade, right? But still feeling that guilt or feeling that pressure, and people not understanding that if they're asking, there's probably a lot of other people asking too. And so it is a continual cycle. Yeah. And you have to figure it out and figure out what's going to work for you. So
totally. That was and at the end of the day, like, I'm not your financial advisor. I'm not going to tell you what to do with your money. To be honest with you, I don't know how much money they have. I know what your last contract was because we can Google it, but like, I don't talk to you about that. You tell me what you need, and you tell me exactly how you want it done, what a budget is for an event, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm trusting that that's based off of a smart decision. Obviously, if you called me and you said you wanted gender reveal for $20,000 and I know you're on a year-to-year contract, maybe I'm going to like check you for a second. But like, you know, at the end of the day, we know.
If I had $20,000, I would never spend it on a gender reveal. But I get that people do stuff like that and I don't get it. But like, even if I don't care if I had $1 billion, I'm not spending $20K on that.
No,
but you're right.
No, it just doesn't. I'm like, open it in the doctor's office. You'll be fine. Go home, make a cake. I don't know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you walk us through? You have an all-inclusive service model.
Yes.
And can you walk us through, you know, how it works, including like your minimum contract, all of that information, so people are more aware and they understand what exactly you offer?
Yes. So we actually have two sides to our contract. So it's the easiest way to say it. So side one being what we call our lifestyle piece, right? And that's what's truly like all inclusive. Whatever is needed is handled, from, like I said, the day-to-day stuff, the dinner reservations, the concierge services, to, hey, we're going to plan a big back to school event for like all the kids in our neighborhood. We're going to do an ice cream truck and a bounce house. We're going to do the whole nine. Or I'm getting engaged. I want to propose. Like, I've got the ring. Can you do everything else? Nothing is ever going to be more than what your contract is. And then the only thing that'll come out of that is like, right, travel or something like that. That's obviously additional cost. That's an all-inclusive package. It's month to month. We have a 6-month minimum. And then after that, we just have a 60-day notice to leave. And we do that on purpose because, one, the 6-month minimum, being in this as long as I've been in this, will say it does take a month or two to really be like, oh, right, I have Ally. We can call Athlete Relations. We can call Ally. We can call Gabby. And I know what I'm doing. It takes a minute to really remember that. And honestly, to like get your to-do list together, right? These are the things I need help with. And so if we just say, you know, oh, it's month to month, just let us know when you need something. One, someone's going to come on for a month, leave for a month, come on for a month, leave for a month. It's just too chaotic.
Yeah.
It's not, there's no, that streamlining process I was talking about, right? There's none of that is there, right? It's just like, then somebody calls you when you're on an off month and like, oh, sorry, I'm not working with them right now. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So again, that's why we do it that way. And most of our guys will just stay on after that. It's just easy. The other side of that is the foundation piece. And we obviously have to separate them for tax purposes because of nonprofits. So that side is the foundation management piece. And we always say the easiest way to kind of describe that is anything front facing. So let's use, like, we did a backpack drive this last weekend in Atlanta. If you are a kid coming to that backpack drive, anything that you visually see or partake in is going through us. So registration, getting the backpack sponsors. We had a barber there, DJ, photographer, etc. Insurance, cute. Like all of the things that need to be done to make sure the event is successful. The t-shirts, the t-shirt design, like everything like that is going through us. And then everything on the back end of your nonprofit will still go through whoever you have, obviously starting it, running it, etc. So that could be your financial advisor team, an accountant, an attorney, whoever you have on the back end is still very much involved. And then the other nice thing about that is a lot of times the foundations that we work on are very personal to them, right? So they have family members that are involved because it's something that's happened to them directly. So the nice thing is the family members can still very much be involved and they kind of just become part of our team of like, hey, let's be on a call to make sure that the planning process is all what you guys were envisioning and what means the most to you guys. And then we'll just kind of execute it. So that's kind of the nice thing is we're not like pushing anybody out. We're not kicking anybody out. We're just kind of, again, organizing that whole idea and that whole process. So those are the two like main packages that we have. And then the foundation side has the like a la carte options of website design and management, social media management, all of those kind of things that we can add on to that package.
Okay. So when you talk about, you know, the lifestyle side, and then you talk about the foundation side, like if we just separated those two, let's talk let's talk about the lifestyle side.
Yep.
When you're looking at that and you mentioned all of the things that it's all inclusive, right? And anything that they need, they can call up and say, hey, Ally, can you help me with this? Can you help me with that? Okay. How do you, like, are there any things like when you think about lifestyle? Because lifestyle is very like
generic.
It's broad. Let's just say, right? It can span.
And I promise you each one is different. No matter how many guys are in the same position, in the same team, the same league, the same city, not one is the same.
Okay. Is there anything that's it's like, you're like, yeah, I don't do that. Like, have you ever had one of those moments where you're like, it's lifestyle, but it's kind of teetering?
Yeah. I think the only thing is, and honestly, I feel like they really do get it. Like, it's not really come up often at all. Yeah. is like the very thin line between what we do and like an actual personal assistant, right? So an assistant, right, is going to be the one that's going and picking up your dry cleaning, doing the errands, doing et cetera. And I'm in Chicago, my assistant's based in Phoenix, and we've got other employees that are kind of scattered throughout the country. I purposely don't mention that. I mean, sometimes obviously the Chicago thing comes up, especially with like players on the Bears and everything, but I don't want them to think it's like an in-person, like I'm going to be at your house once a week, like having meetings and like sitting down. And by the way, I'll pick up dinner on the way. Like I would love to hang out with you guys and like a cool like dinner, like let's go grab a drink or like grab coffee or whatever situation. But like I'm not a personal assistant. I'm not running your errands. I'm not picking your kids up, et cetera. And I think that maybe on the outside can get a little blurry because like I have a daughter, right? She's 20 months old. So a lot of my clients that have kids that are, I know, but have kids that are around the same age, like they do play together. They'll go to each other's birthday parties or when they are in town, we'll go and see them, you know, in at the park together or whatever. And I think that that's where it kind of gets like, oh, like you guys are together. And it's like, no, we're actually just friends now. We're just hanging out. Like just to clarify, like this isn't like, oh, I like wanted to meet up with them so that I could, again, do something on like the personal assistant side. So I'd say that's really like the biggest like question mark. But at the end of the day, like I think that most people get it. And this is something else you and I talked about is I think a lot of people think that this is something that only like the top few people on a team need. That was my next. Yes. So that's the thing is it's not. It's something that everyone across the league should be tapping into, right? And like, some of it is just convenience, right? Everyone can make their own dinner reservations or book a flight. Like it's not like anyone's like incompetent and doesn't know how to do those things. It's just a matter of like, one, when you're a player, you need to focus on playing, like period, end of story. You don't need to be worrying about like, oh, I forgot to book date night. Like, what am I supposed to do now or whatever. But when you're on the other side and you're a significant other, you're literally running everything, right? Because they're playing. So
let me tell you something.
It's not manageable.
Okay? I have 3 kids, and I think about the time that we lived in 2 different homes. Plus, you're doing all of the different philanthropy, you know, all the events, everything going on. It would have been nice to have someone I could call and be like, girl, can you help me out here?
Just help.
I just need a few things lifted off of my plate. You know, those things do matter. And it's so, and you're right. It's not that people are incompetent. They only have so much time.
You're drowning. And honestly, especially when you have kids and you are moving to a new city and you're trying to figure it out. We had a client that just got traded to the Cardinals. And when they signed on with us, it was like, I just like need help getting situated. I need a pediatrician. I need to find a gym. I need to like, what are your recommendations? And that's another city that we're super familiar with, which is great because we can just be like X, Y, and Z. This is our recos. Like we'll set it up. Just let me know if you're good with this and if you have a time of day and a preference. Like it just feels better for them to not feel like, oh my God, I'm going to this new place that like maybe I've been on a vacation once or twice, but like that's about it. And again, while it is a luxury in a sense, right? Like it's not to the average person. It is to the average player. It's necessary, right? It is something that's become necessary to maintain semi-stress-free life for these players and their families, right? It's not realistic to think that, especially our guys that are on these 1-year contracts and are kind of bouncing around from place to place sometimes, that you're gonna feel settled somewhere and then immediately be uprooted to go somewhere else. And sometimes it happens mid-season and you literally have 5 minutes to move to a new place and find somewhere to live. Like if I didn't know what I was doing and like that happened to me, I'd probably have like a nervous breakdown. Like I'd be like, are you kidding? Like what am I supposed to do with that? So I can't imagine how it feels to them. And then on top of it, are you like 8 months pregnant? And now, by the way, your OB's in a different state. Like, can you imagine? So like a lot of times the wives are staying back to where they were and just having to do it by themselves. Like this is insane. So
that was me.
It's crazy.
I had to stay back and I ended up I remember calling Nate. I'm like, I think I'm going into labor. And it was like the middle of the night. I'm like, you might want to take the first flight out. He had just gotten picked up by a team. You know what I mean? It was just all of the unexpecteds happening at once. Luckily, he got there in time. But to your point, like what if it's during the season when he can't leave, right?
Literally,
Yeah, like so it is nice to just have someone that can help you in these. I think that let's talk about the other side, the significant other.
Yeah.
I think that you're sometimes taught, and I'm going to just raise my hand here, and you're sometimes taught to wear that cape and to figure it all out and to do it all. And for me, being an athlete as well, I thought, I can do it. But it got to the point where, I could do it, but do I have the time? Do I have the energy? I am tired. I'm pregnant. Like there's so many things going on that I wish I could call you and say, please help me. I'm
Right.
tired.
Well,
I'm
too, you don't want to
8.5 months.
spend all that time that you have. Like, you only have a limited amount of time each day. Do you want to spend it checking all these boxes off of your to-do list, or do you want someone
100%.
else to be able to do it so that you can spend time with your kids or take a nap if you're pregnant or whatever it is? You know what I mean? At the end of the day,
Yes.
it's just not. That's right. We're women, right? We can do it all. We can. We do it, and we figure it out. And obviously, you figured it out, and it wasn't fun, but you did. But like, why should we? Right? It's not
You
a
said
service
it wasn't fun.
No, no, and it's not even like. Again, I think everyone thinks it's this like luxury thing that like, oh, you have an assistant or you have a manager or you have whatever that sounds like to like the outside world. And like, once you really tap into it and like see what a stress relief it is. And like, again, it's obviously a fee every month, but with all of our partnerships and the stuff that we're doing that you would be doing anyway, all of the discounts add up, all of the things that add up. I mean, it's, to me, obviously I'm biased. To me, it's like, why wouldn't you, right? Like have some help, like have someone be able to assist with those things and just let you take a breath for a minute, right? Especially,
100%.
God, if you're pregnant or like newly postpartum, like there's no way. There's no way. It's like you don't get a maternity leave from life.
Yes. Facts.
Yeah.
I look back and I just shake my head like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I made it through all that.
Yeah, truly, truly.
Okay, so I'm sure a lot of people are like, okay, there's this amazing concierge service. There's this personal assistant. There's this company that can help us. But does it break the bank?
Right.
Talk about that side of it.
Yeah. So we have, like I said, our model is just a flat fee every month. It starts at $1,500. I would say a good portion of our guys are somewhere between $1,500 and $2,000 a month. It's dependent on, again, the package that we're kind of building out. And again, based on where they are and what they need and all of the things that we talk about in our original call, we just build that package and it's just billed every month. I'll be honest with you, most times when I tell people the price, they're like, oh, like, I thought this was going to be like way worse. I'm like, nope, that's it. Like, we've got it down to a science that we can literally make sure that we stay within this circle. And obviously, again, it's grown, the pricing has grown from when we first started. And I'm sure it still will, like, as, time goes on. But like, that's where we're at right now. And it works. And it's a really easy, I guess, like process for our guys to kind of swallow, right? It's a good fee. They're able to understand like what they're getting out of it. It makes sense. Financial advisors are happy about it because it's not some crazy expense that they're adding on.
Yeah.
So I think I think we've kind of found that sweet spot right now for sure.
Okay, so here's another question about athletes, because we know athletes are only athletes for so long and then they retire. But I know you talk about, you do the financial aids, or I'm sorry, the foundation side as well. When athletes do retire, do they still, are they allowed to still be a part of this? And what does that look like?
Yes. So we do have a few retired guys right now. Actually, one of our like most notable retired players we started working with like actually towards the end of his career. Like he was pretty much done playing at that point. There's a very interesting little like switch, I think, that turns on with the guys, right? As they're starting to get ready to retire. They're like, what's next? Like they get this like fire inside of them almost. And to be honest, I think that's a huge portion of what we do, right? Is let's figure out how we can get you into this next phase of life, whether it's settling into a house, obviously all of those things, but what are you interested in? Investing, et cetera. Like, let me connect you with people. Again, like I'm not going to advise you on like where to invest or what to invest in, but we can connect you with the right people and then we can help to manage all of that, right? So we literally have one client, all we do, 95% of what we do is literally just calendar management, shifting things around, making sure he knows where he needs to be and when, setting up the meetings with the people that he needs to be set up with. And it's super successful. He's got like a full business out of it. So
that's awesome.
I think that a lot of people would think that like, oh, they're retired, like right off into the sunset, whole cliche. And like, while yes, like obviously we want you to enjoy your retirement, at the same time, like if the average NFL career right now is what I think 3.7 years or something, like we got to figure out a next step here. This isn't most players are not just like ending playing and never having to do anything else in their life. Like it's just not realistic. So how are we able to help with that next phase for them?
That's good. Thank you for explaining that. Okay, so we got through all of the hard stuff, all the hard questions, and really easy for you. But I'm sure other people I was just thinking about questions that most women would have, players would have, and you did a great job covering that. This is the fun stuff coming up. This is called the 2-minute drill. Okay. So I'm just going to ask you some simple questions. I'm going to set my 2-minute timer, and 1 second, there it is. And when the 2 minutes is up, then we are up. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. Early bird or night owl?
Neither. No, I'm definitely earlier. I don't like to be. I would love to just sleep, but no, definitely earlier.
Okay, fair. Well, you do have a 20-month-old, so I get that.
True. There's not much wiggle room there.
Exactly. Name your favorite sports team.
My favorite sports team of all times would probably be Chicago Cubs or the Blackhawks.
Okay,
I know.
I love it.
I don't pick
That's
an NFL
awesome.
team anymore. I don't even say that as my favorite team. It's too much.
Well, that's coming up, so you're going to have to think of something later. But we'll get there later. Okay. Jet set travel or perfectly planned staycation?
Ooh. Can I say perfectly planned jet set travel? I personally plan my own beautifully itinerary.
You're definitely type A.
Situation. I've got the car service down. I've got the flights, got the reservations. That's my whole MO. So can I say like a mix of the two? Whatever's more planned. I don't know how to not be planned.
Oh, that is hilarious. Okay. Under the radar gem or high profile client?
Oh, under the radar gem. 100%. They're always like my favorite, like sweetest people. You become part of the family, the whole nine. That's my go-to always.
Love it. Custom packages or a la carte?
Custom packages.
Calendar chaos or last minute surprises?
I feel like I have to say calendar chaos, but I like planning last minute surprises. If it's up to me to like plan things for other people, I love a last minute situation. So
That's fair.
Yeah.
Okay. Text or voice note?
I talk to text, so it's kind of both. No, I like texting.
That's a great
because I'll if it's a voice note, it's gonna be 20 minutes long for me. There's no end to that one. I'm like, oh, I have to turn this off now. You don't want a voice note from me.
Okay, music on blast or calm in the silence?
If I'm working, calm. Like I got like the meditative music in the back. I'm like zoned in, like getting all my stuff done. But like kitchen, cooking, driving, whatever, music on blast.
Love. Okay, DIY or delegate?
Delegate. I'm not that creative. I can like make things in my mind and like bring it to life, but like no.
That's fair. Okay, the hard question. If you had to choose one NFL team, name one. It's okay. Players, they shift all the time. They can't even choose.
No, they can't choose. It's fine. No, mine's the Bears. It has to be. I'm from here. I love our Bears clients. I love the guys and the girls that work for the team. Yeah. I love Soldier as much as it's kind of a mess. It's my team through and through, unfortunately. But every year we're back, so it's fine. I'm here.
Okay, last question. If you could say anything to younger Ally, what would it be?
Keep going. There was so many times where I was like, this like feels like this isn't it. I got a job. I'll never forget. I got a job offer about a year into athlete relations. And I remember literally vividly sitting at my parents' house, just like sobbing, being like, I think I should take it. It's like stable. Like I only had like one client at the time. And I'm like, I know it's like still early, but it doesn't feel like it's growing. Like I'm getting so many no's. And I guess I just like believed in it. But like, there were so many times like that where I was like, am I like making a mistake? Like this feels, and then once you have like a baby and like, you're like, I am like providing for a family and like that part of it. And you're like, this is really like, this is my life. And like, it's easy to just give up, and just be like, I'm going to go get something more stable, whatever. But like, I'm glad I kept going, but it would be a good thing for her to hear. I think like it's worth it,
Yes, it's definitely worth it. Okay, so I know you're going to have lots of questions. People are going to want to know more. If they want to get a hold of you, Ally, where do they find you?
Easiest thing is either Instagram DMs or email. Instagram, I'm Ally.Nielsen, or just at Athlete Relations. Either one, we check that all the time. My email is ally@athleterelations.com. Nice and easy. Again, obviously check that all the time. So that's typically our two best avenues. Our website is just athleterelations.com, and there's more information on there. There's also like a contact section, so that's always easy too. And again, we'll just get back to you through that.
I'll be sure to add it in the show notes. Thank you so much for gracing the podcast.
Glenn.
You are amazing.
Oh my God,
and ladies, I'm going to say this before I get off. I've been where you are. I know that there's moments where you can't do everything, and that's okay. If you need to reach out to someone, talk to Ally. She's amazing. Thank you so much for coming on, Ally.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Okay, well, that's a wrap for Inside Lines podcast. I'm your host, Atoya Burleson, where we talk about real stories, real talk every week. Please don't forget to subscribe and share and leave it all out on the field. See you next time.